are my friends. Come along with me, see how the story ends.
This episode is brought to you by North Spore. Ever wondered what secrets lie beneath the forest floor? What if I told you there's a hidden kingdom waiting to be explored right in your own home? North Spore is your getaway to this magical world. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned mycologist, North Spore has everything you need to cultivate culinary delights, medicinal powerhouses, and even a little mind-expanding magic. Unlock the power of fungi with their top-notch spawn, easy-to-use kits, and a treasure trove of knowledge. If you're ready to embark on your mushroom journey, visit northspore.com and discover a community of passionate growers, expert resources, and endless possibilities. It's time to tap into the ancient wisdom of fungi and transform your world. Be sure to use code ProfessionalHippies for a very special discount to fuel your fungal exploration. North Spore, where wonder grows.
Welcome back to another episode of the Professional Hippies podcast. Today we have a special guest, Aaron Miles, aka the one and only BX. Welcome to the podcast, buddy. or squatting X Bear. I don't know what your gamer tag is in the background, but
that is what it is. That's exactly what it says.
Nice.
My amazing girlfriend Shannon got that for me for a birthday gift, and yeah, it's pretty nice. I really like it.
That is awesome. Yeah, by the way, if y'all don't know, he is also the king of Halo. So if you've lost on Halo, it was probably to him at some point in your gaming life.
BX, you ball out on Halo, my man?
I do. I'm certainly not the best, but I have been playing and competing in not just Halo, but a few video games for quite a long time now. I think I started competing around 14, 15. By 16, I started going to the major events that were around my city, just the tri-state area of New York. Used to go to MLG Meadowlands tournaments, used to go to just things around the 5 boroughs. It kind of helped me stay on a path or keep on a better path compared to maybe what some of my other friends were doing in high school. Like, some people would go out, some people would run around the streets, stay out late. I was on that Xbox from middle school to high school until college, until someone said, "Here's a beer, you should hop off that thing." But now I do a lot of fighting games. I compete locally, regionally. I like it as a great way to network, meet people, stay humble, keep your mind sharp, focus, fun hobbies, and yeah, it's led to a lot of opportunities that I never would have thought. I have done like professional video editing. I have helped people work and publish documentaries. I have been an esports coach for like a tier 3 or tier 4 esports organization. I have done a whole lot of things that maybe weren't a primary source of income that was super sustainable for a very long time, but it was always in the background, and it always kind of helped. If you're skillful, if you're good, and if you know your worth and value, you can make some money out of this stuff.
Dude, that's like it's so cool now seeing how platforms like Kick and Twitch are taking off, because I remember when watching the first couple of pros that I knew in my circle. So like my really, really close friend growing up, his little brother, who has since become a great friend, shout out Cedar. At like 14 or 13, he was ranked top 10 in the world at maybe Modern Warfare or a game in a similar lane. And you watch him, and there was a couple other people I knew that were pros. You would go, it's a viewing event to just sit and watch how good a professional is at anyone that can just hold their own and compete. Like, they don't have to be top 10, right? But anyone that's like worth their weight. Like, now it totally makes sense, because back then that's what we would do. We'd all get some beers and just hang out and watch Cedar play, or watch our other buddies play. Now it makes sense when people want to watch someone else play a video game, because it's like, I just want to watch someone do some stuff that I can't do. Like, there's entertainment value in that.
the same reason I'm watching these NBA playoffs. I can't, do the things that they're doing. I can't really replicate to a degree that a professional athlete is, shooting, scoring, defending. But it's beautiful to watch, and more importantly, it's very profitable to these to advertisement companies, to marketing campaigns. Um, I've seen a trajectory or a path where people go from like competing, gaming, and then they pivot into content creation. They start doing merch, they start their own podcast, they start their YouTube channel, they might start coaching on Metafy. And yeah, it's pretty cool to see. And Twitch does a big deal. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you're one click away from subscribing to someone. That person gets 250. The Twitch servers get 250.
And that's per month, right? When someone subscribes. So it's just
like
recurring.
A Patreon. Yep, it's a monthly subscription. And if you think about it, you really only need a few hundred people to kind of be sustainable. If I'm getting $250 a person and my bills are around $200 to $2,500 a month, I really only need about maybe 600 to 800 people monthly that are subscribing to me, just leaving it on auto pay, basically like a bill, but watching me play my favorite game. A lot of people are opting for that as opposed to maybe traditional kind of employment, traditional career means. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's just more people every day. Like I'll read a headline and it's about some streamer I've never heard of, and they have millions and millions of views and followers. I'm just like, how, where, who? But they're popping up faster than anything else.
Sketch comes to mind.
Yeah, I had no idea, and my girlfriend's like, "You don't watch this guy?" I'm like, "No, I was just saying brother on my own. I was just
what's up, brother?
That was just part of my vocabulary.
Everybody's been saying "What's up, brother?" since
I didn't know
"What's
it was
up, brother?" is
a
a thing.
So.
Now it's just the way you say it, right? That's the only difference.
I have a friend that tried to get into that. He's still trying to do it, where he's trying to build a following, and it's really tough. And he's playing these certain games, and you're right. Like there's so many people out there trying to make it as a living, and you're like, I wonder what sets people apart from the gaming. You're like, these people are probably equally level playing fields, but because this person says their name in a certain way or says something in a certain way, it gets people kicking.
To me, it seems like you need a certain type of criteria. You have to check off a certain amount of boxes. You better be streaming with your camera on. Nobody's going to watch you with your not see your reactions. They want to hear you. So you better have a camera on. It helps if you are just playing the newest thing. If you're playing Fortnite or Warzone or Apex, Call of Duty, if you're just the newest thing, there's already millions of eyes on those games alone. Just here on the Western Hemisphere, just in North America alone, if you play the latest game, let's say a fighting game like Tekken 8 or Street Fighter, people just kind of go into those streams and just check out if they see it, you're playing their character, or if they see you're a high rank, that entices kind of people. But I think mainly, or thirdly, if you're just genuinely entertaining and funny and engaging, you just attract the viewers, you just attract the subscribers. If you are just talented on camera, people are going to find you and promote you and help you reach your donation goals and your sub goals, your hype goals, all those kind of things. I know that comes with, a certain kind of sacrifice. Like a lot of people want to stream, but they want to stream their favorite game. A lot of people want to stream, but they don't want to stream 8 to 10 hours a day. And that's what those successful top of the chart guys are doing. Guys and girls are doing. They're streaming more than we work at a regular job. Like if we're putting 40 hours a week, they're doing 60 to 80 because it's the job and it's also the hobby and it's also the side hustle all in one.
Yeah. And that doesn't even count like if in the beginning they're bootstrapping their own content, their own clips, anything else that they're trying to do, like just dressing up the dashboard and just like up leveling the entertainment factor. I've never understood how some of those gamers are so good and entertaining. Like the ability to have conversation while they're just dunking on people.
They just sit like this or like and they're playing, but now they have to be focused.
That's
and
me.
be
I
entertaining
mean,
at the same
I'm a
time.
total mouth breather playing a video game.
I think it may have to do with your upbringing and background. If you were someone who, let's say, spent a lot of years growing up playing video games in a family environment where you had siblings and cousins and you're all playing multiplayer games and you're all talking and having a conversation while you're playing, let's say you're shit talking or just catching up, that starts to, make you better, make you just be able to put the gaming kind of on autopilot, just like when we're driving to work every day. Your brain just puts that activity on autopilot, and then you're really concentrated on the conversation, what the person's talking about. And I mean, I could think of like birthday parties back when I was a kid. Like we'd have Halo, the Xbox split screen, 4 kids in this room, 4 people in the other room, and then as soon as you get a kill, just you hear that was entertainment.
The
That was
LAN parties.
Yeah, the LAN parties. That was quality, value, entertainment. That is now a profitable metric by doing that today. Except we're all individually in our own streaming spaces, our own offices, and stuff like that. And then 2, I also remember not only I would play a game, coordinate with my cousins, whoever I'm on the team with, shit talk the other people in the other room, and then also explain what's going on in the game to my mom or my aunt or my dad or someone, like actually having 3 separate conversations and then being very, very proficient. When you're 6, 10, 12, 14 years old, you're a lot of those young guys are on top leaderboards because you really do just have great hand-eye coordination, great reflexes, and you just learn faster than someone who's 32, 33 years old, usually.
What are some of those games that are a little bit more popular, like in South Korea? I think it's like not World of Warcraft, but similar, like StarCraft. I think is that the game I'm thinking of?
Yep, so they play StarCraft 2 over there. They've been playing StarCraft on television since about 1997. No joke.
Yeah.
They treat that sort of like we treat like the NBA or NFL over here, allegedly.
Yeah.
I've never been to Korea, but I know I've seen the documentaries, I've seen the videos, I've seen them sell out stadiums for their home teams.
Yeah.
They play StarCraft 2. They also play a fighting game called Tekken very well. There's a lot of strong Korean players that play Tekken, but StarCraft's the game you're thinking of.
Yeah, and they have like teams. I mean, those guys are pouring 80 plus hours every single week into training, and just like they dump everything into it. And one of those documentaries I think I was watching, they were talking about how those fine motor skills, like by the time a kid's like 18, 19, 20, they're kind of like aging out of their prime. Allegedly is what I remember from that, is that they don't have maybe the dexterity or the energy. They can't eat fucking Fruit Loops and play for 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day.
I'm fortunate that I had a capture card when I was 15 or 16. I bought a Dazzle 90 off the internet, saved my lunch money to buy a capture card so I can hook it up to my Xbox, record my clips. When I watch my gameplay from when I was 16, it's like a night and day difference to what I play now. Same exact game. And I just had better reactions. I just didn't miss it. I didn't require any mental effort at all. I could just flick the controller, flick the stick, and you were dead. So I totally believe by 18, 19, 20, you start partying a bit, you start going out a little bit. Then the skills deteriorate just a smidgen, right? Just a little bit.
Right.
And then some other 15, 16-year-old comes and takes your spot. Those guys live together too. They do like esports houses and stream houses, and there's like full accountability. Like you have to get up and then grind and practice whatever your game of choice is. StarCraft. They used to have that here for Halo. They had some streamer houses, but it's there's just more. It's more. They have more of a sustainable economy out there. More salaries,
Streamer house.
people.
Is that where you're like everyone all around you is all doing the same thing, all focused on the same game, or just different games, but you're just surrounding yourself kind of like with like-minded people hey, we're all here to do this?
So they've had both. FaZe Clan has done the latter. They had a New York house where they had different streamers under the FaZe umbrella stream different games, create content, still do competing. I was referring to the former, where it is 4 or 5 dudes on the same organization, on the same team. They all know their roles. They all have this, they're all sponsored by the same people, the same brands, and they get up every day, during the season, right? These things are just like sports. They have, their regular seasons and 3 or 4 month off season. During the season, though, they're sweat, like literally sweating, playing the game just nonstop. And some people I'll be honest, some people find that lifestyle a little cringe, a little lame, and each their own. But
They're
if
cranking
if
the
you're a
AC up to
teenager,
keep it cold, keep them
yeah,
up.
if you're good and you're a teenager and someone says, "Hey, do you want to play, your favorite game for money? You've been playing it for $0." Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Why not? I'm gonna, jump on the opportunity. Why not?
Yeah, like who knows what that leads to? It's like in a big part of that regard, it's like fuck your future. Like there's a lot of opportunities to develop skills and go see where that leads to, type of deal. Especially if you were to make a move into content creation, build a following. Like it doesn't necessarily have to, you can be 18, 19, 20 and then figure out like what a career looks like if that doesn't work out for you. But the upside when some of those kids get adopted on those teams, like especially FaZe, I know they've been downsizing a lot. Like that set some of those kids up in the top 1 percentile very quickly.
Yeah, they get. I'm glad you brought that up. I was following this. I've been following this news recently. These FaZe people are kind of at each other's throats between the OG FaZe clan members, the newer clan members. They went public with their company. They had high stock. Their stock plummeted. They're trying to kind of get their org back on track. It's very, very interesting. FaZe is supposed to sponsor an event in Atlanta this July, like a Halo major LAN tournament that I was considering going to because it's close by. It's pretty close to here, Tampa. But because of the FaZe drama, the issues that they're going through, they haven't announced these dates, and we're kind of worried that they're just going to cancel. Not worried, but we're pretty sure that this isn't going to happen. That someone's going to lose a lot of money on securing a venue but didn't get the rest of these things secure. This industry is the most like volatile, a very, very risky one to invest in. I've seen a lot of people not get paid out or have to wait years to get paid out for wins. I've seen a lot of investors just not get their money back.
Like wins from tournaments?
Oh yeah. Not all the time, but occasionally you'll have people who are a little more grassroots, less publisher backing, who kind of want to start their own league or their own event. They'll go to their bank, they'll get a loan for $10K, they'll get some prize pool, some crowdfunding. Teams pay $250 a team pass to go, and then something falls through. A venue cancels, or I remember one time specifically for a tournament called AGL, Arena Gaming League. The internet at this venue had not been built. Like they had told this these TOs, the tournament organizers, like, yep, we can host this event. We can totally have this, and their internet was like literally just not built out. It was like a hotel. It might have been an Embassy Suites style. I don't know.
Might have been the Embassy Suites.
The Embassy Suites. But yeah, and then a lot of people lost a lot of money. More recently, more majorly, or more significantly, Nintendo had a hand in canceling the Smash World Tour. The community around the globe for Super Smash Brothers came together, created a Smash World Tour, but didn't have proper licensing from Nintendo. They had told everyone they did, so players would sign up, pros would come, and they would get further sponsorship backing. And it was like $250,000. I don't know. It's like a pretty significant chunk of change for Smash and FGC, which usually doesn't see a lot of money poured into it. But because Nintendo sent out some cease and desist letters. These TOs had to cancel their events, had to cancel affiliation with Smash World Tour. That trickled down to not just like major TOs losing, trust with their venues, with their where they have these tournaments, but also players were like, I just booked a flight like to this city, I just booked a hotel, and now there's no event here. Who do I contact about my about this $500 I just lost? Nintendo, like they don't give a
Your
shit.
problem,
like,
bro.
Yeah,
Your problem.
Right.
There's no. It's all risk. It's all 100% liability. So if you ever ask me, BX, why don't you go pro? It's because I'm smart. Like I understand you should just have a real job, and maybe the
risk is just so high. Well, that's what I was wondering too. Is like that's why you see so many young kids in it now, because it's like the parents can fork over the time and money for the kid to go do these things, and if it falls apart, well, oh well, kid's time is to go do something else, in the meantime. But I wonder how many kids get put, how, I don't know, I used to get in trouble a lot when I was younger for playing video games a lot, like, hey, get out there and go cut down a tree or something, whatever. And so like, I wonder how many parents these days are like, oh, you want to play video games? Fine, I'm going to put you in esports school, and now you got to go deal with that.
The number is significantly higher. So the only advertisements I get sometimes now are esports college programs, because I've been an esports coach, and I've mentored and was a coach for couple of different teams. A lot of colleges now have these programs. They offer scholarships. High schools now, same thing. They might offer scholarships. They all have a program, but it's this like undeniable wave. So yeah, absolutely. Many more parents, especially the younger parents who have seen gaming on TV, who are a little bit more inclined or familiar with internet culture, or who just play games themselves, are definitely supporting those habits, supporting those things. It's just like, supporting your kid wanting to be in the NBA or the NFL or be a pro tennis player, golf player, soccer player. Your school probably already has a club or a program for that. I had the same upbringing, Dylon. When I was a kid, I played too many video games. It was me and my cousin. We were just addicts, Street Fighter warriors. We'd play until our eyes bled. We didn't know what we were doing, just button mashing, just hitting the buttons as hard as we could, playing Street Fighter on my PS1. And then we got told to go outside and explore and don't come home for several hours. But you know what? Thankfully, by the time I was 17, like a senior in high school, I think my parents kindly subsided a little bit, or were a little bit more amicable to the idea of, just, hey, you're doing something that's safe, that's not super expensive. Like, you're not in a trap house. You're going to Meadowlands, New Jersey. We know where that is. They play basketball and football over there. The Giants play football over there. I remember asking my dad, I was like, can I skip school for one day to go to this tournament? Because tournaments are always Fridays. They're always Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Your matches are usually early Friday morning, 8, 9, 10 a.m. The bigger the tournament, the earlier you have to be there. I'll never forget asking my dad. He was just like, sure. Just sure. He'll be back today. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your own way there and back. All right. Sure.
Yeah.
But now that, if I had a child, I would be behooved. I'd be elated if my kid wanted to go to a gaming event. I'd be like, yes, we're going together. I'm live streaming the whole thing. This will be my first tournament.
The thing
ever.
that they don't really have to contend with, or that we didn't have to contend with, that kids have to contend with today, is like microtransactions, but like even bigger than that, like the dopamine fix and like chasing the milestones, like the PS1, PS2, 360, even later generations than that. The games were still set up in a way where it was like, don't get me wrong, nothing was more addicting than trying to get maxed out whatever on Call of Duty, and games like that. But it was like, you could see, like, once you got there, you're like, okay, hey, what's the next video game? Or I'm just hanging out with my friends. Like, my perspective is that, like, I could play it for an hour or two and be good and be like, okay, let's go out and do something. Like, let me go throw the ball with my buddies or something. Like, it didn't, the way the games grab now, it's like they have done such a good job of social engineering the games to just mash all of the dopamine buttons that you just look up after 5-6 hours and you're like, man, what happened? You know? And I don't know, that's kind of intense.
They're little casinos. In other countries, they actually sue these publishers and some of these developers for the loot box gambling mechanics. Every game I can't even pick an example because literally every game had them for what it felt like the 2010s. Every game had you had day one DLC. I buy the game, I put it in. There's immediately downloadable content that's telling me to purchase more of. There's the pre-ordering bonus. I can't just buy the game day one. Now I'm being marketed and advertised to purchase a more expensive copy, the legendary edition of a game, several months beforehand, before we even know what the product looks like. We also have everything's a live service now. I definitely agree with you, Colton. It felt like back in the day I could play Call of Duty for a couple of hours and then be done with it. Feel like, oh, like that was a good time. I don't feel like there's like a hook in my brain telling me to continue playing to earn something, even with those prestige modes. Because I remember when Prestige came out, it was pretty cool. I think 10th Prestige in Modern Warfare 1 was like a golden cross or something. Really cool. When you saw that, it was like, wow, that's awesome. And it was still an achievable goal. You could be like, oh, if I play like every day for maybe a couple of years, like I could reach that. That's a good reason to continue to play the game. Now, when I play Halo, it's like, okay, I have like a weekly rewards challenge. Then there's like the battle pass. Then there's like a cosmetic pass. Then there's like the shop. And then there's like there's just so much that it's like, just buy instead of about maybe the core experience that's kind of been lost. But it's very, very profitable for these investors, for the people that like to see that arrow go up every 3 to 4 months. They've done their job flawlessly. The microtransactions now, the skins, they make more money in a day than they ever could have made back in the day selling just a copy of a game and being like, that's it, there you go, just $60 is ours. It's
like it's impossible to differentiate like who earned their way to that level, to that reward, to that skin versus did this 15-year-old have their parents buy them whatever bucks or coins or whatever the fuck is needed to get that thing. And I mean, the first thing I said when my wife, then girlfriend, we moved in together, I was like, hey, there's going to come days where I sound extremely convincing that I'm totally okay. And I need you to know I'm not. And under no circumstances do we allow a gaming console in this house. Because, I mean, it's just like, dude, I saw like right around 22, 23, I was with buddies, we had them in the house and stuff. And it was like one summer in commission, I probably lost like 15, 20 grand in commissions that I could have earned because it was just so vital that our FIFA team got to whatever level, or, it was just like you get done and you just keep going. And it just, I can't do it, man. I can't.
They get some older folks or middle-aged folks now on mobile apps. I know someone who's recently spent a couple $100 on Monopoly. I think the mobile ones also rake in just a ton of money. Candy Crush, Clash of Clans, all those things. You got to spend levels for it. It's I think it's kind of funny.
And here's the deal. I'm happy to pay a couple $100 for a game. Like if you broke down, like now that we have adult money, like if I knew that by spending at the highest limit, like $150, $200, but I was going to get several hundred hours of entertainment out of that. Like Dylan and I spent probably $400 or $500 at a casino for 12 hours of entertainment, but we we could do the mental calculation and go like, we're paying like $10 or $20 an hour for really unbridled fun. That's cool. It's the fact that like you can't see the end in sight. Like you're playing Clash of Clans or some Age of Empires reboot mobile edition, Diablo mobile, whatever. Like I can see in the beginning that there's no end in sight for how much money you're going to spend. So it does intrinsically, it just doesn't even make sense. It's like, I'll pay $5 to take ads off a game. That's cool. But like, I'm cool giving up money, man. But like, why do we have to put these traps in where it's like they're trying to extract thousands of dollars from the upper end players? It's like, let's just push it to the median, like throttle it somehow,
Not to be too macabre with it, but it feels just related to the other things going on in our lives, the ever increasing prices of goods and services and homes, property. Some people will report wages being stagnant. Other people have experienced layoffs, find it hard to get back in the job market. It kind of just feels like part of maybe that beast, that that take all, give little, that never ending hunger to make more, to increase that revenue stream somehow. It just seems kind of unsustainable. But I know that lawmakers are fighting it, not just here but in other countries as well, trying to put a leash or corral these practices. The really just towards the children too. It's really just like, is this how we didn't get that kind of loot boxy microtransaction experience? Is this how our children have to experience gaming too? Can they not just get something a little bit more pure, something that doesn't require a credit card outside of initial purchase? But I think it'll get better. I know it'll get better because it's already getting better. It's already better than it was like in 2015 or 2016. It was pretty awful. I personally just didn't want to play like any games at all because they all kind of felt samey, very similar, and just like big old money pits. Rather go to the Hard Rock with Dylan or something.
Do you think what I've heard of, like a lot of people really enjoying the being able to download games? I like the hard disk that comes like with a game, right? You just pop it in, you play whenever you want. You can also play offline if your internet's down during a storm, but you have power, you can still play. I feel like being able to download the game, that's also where they get you, because they can track your gaming play too. And being like, oh, he downloaded, this is where he's at in the levels. We can throw in these little pings to be like, hey, buy this, get there quicker. Whereas the hard disk, it just keeps me off of their network a little bit. Not fully, obviously, but a little bit.
You make a great point. It's all about control. If I have control over your experience, I can influence it to the degree in which I choose. And you're so right. We have power outages here in Florida all the time. We have storms, hurricanes all the time. It's very often where I have a power outage, and I'll probably just grab a book or something I like to read. But it's nice being able to know I have offline options. That's gone away for a lot of games. The digitization of media kind of is just theft from the consumer, because if I don't have the physical version of something, you can kind of tell me at any time that I no longer own it. And it's that's not hyperbole. It's actually happening now. So Sony has done this recently with their library, where Sony Plus members, whatever that service is called, they're no longer having access to certain games or certain
It's
titles.
no longer supported.
Right. Yeah. I've seen this with things I've purchased. Maybe I want to say YouTube or something similar. I bought like a Venture Brothers special. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, just an old Adult Swim show. I was like, oh, I want to support the original people that made this. I don't want to be a pirate. I want to actually pay the $2.99 for this. But it tells you buy. Like, okay, I'm buying it until the partnership or the agreement ends between you and the original, owners of the media, and now I no longer have access to it. I don't even get a notification that I lost access to it. It's just some kind of general patch update, and then I go look for it. It's a Christmas special. That's why I bought it, because I was like, I'm gonna watch this every Christmas. And then I go one Christmas to watch it. I'm like, oh, I actually don't own this. I actually just paid and was pretty much lied to by YouTube or whoever. It's happening. It's happening a lot. Physical media is so important. I still buy physical games. Because the publisher developer can't take this stuff away from you. It's very nice and very handy to have just a console that I don't have to swap discs in and out of. I can choose what I want to have downloaded on it. But the cons are we're seeing are pretty alarming.
It's like the South Park episode where they had the cable company, and you come to them with a problem, and they're like rubbing their nipples, getting turned on by it. That's what it sounds like, exactly like. Oh, we don't support that game anymore.
That's
Did we
every
take
company.
that away from you?
It does feel like from a macro sense that enterprises are moving to a lease model, like in just various industries, everything from real estate and seeing like BlackRock and other conglomerates buy up a lot of single residence families because of the power of leasing, to media, cars, with like BMW trying to be like, oh yeah, if you want heated seats, it's $30 a month subscription just to turn on. It's like, dude, I already own. The only thing you're doing is sending a signal to the car saying it's okay for those seats to turn on. It's like, what are we doing here?
When my car has an issue, it doesn't give me an error code. It just tells me maintenance is required, and then I have to take it to the finance, the Southeast Toyota Finance. I guess I should buy one of those devices. I could just hook it up, but the fact that it just doesn't tell me what's wrong, so I can just fix it. Air in the tires, need new oil, brake fluid. Just tell me what it is. It doesn't do that. That also feels like a similar control thing where, they don't, the manufacturers of the vehicle don't want you to be able to, work on it yourself. But inevitably, I'm going to have to, right? Like at one time out of my 5-year, 50,000, warranty or whatever it is, the initial purchase warranty, I have to learn how to fix it because unless you know someone personally that's a mechanic, taking a vehicle to a mechanic is like backbreaking. It's like it's like an unexpected medical bill. It's like a whole paycheck for most people. Maybe not me in particular, but car trouble I at least used to have a lot of issues with. Anytime something would go wrong with the vehicle, it's like, damn, my whole day is ruined. It's depressing, and I know this is going to cost me a lot of money.
Dude, a hack around that I found when I was living in Tampa. I had 2 guys that I would go to for, one was like transmission stuff, tire stuff, whatever. The other was like engine. And these are just like, and I've kind of done the same thing here. If you go to like a trappier part of the city, now they're not always going to do great work. So you got to find the right shop, you know what I mean? Or you at least like get multiple quotes and see who has like kind of the business savvy and who doesn't. And you'll find a guy that's just like not trying to rip people. He's like very upfront about the labor and the parts, and you just do side by side comparisons. But like, you go to a shop that has grease everywhere, that's where you're going to get the best deal. Like, those are the guys, they're like, I don't have time to keep this place fucking clean. I'm trying to like make a living. Like, those are the guys that'll typically shoot you straight and be like, you don't need this, you don't need that, but this is fucked. You should definitely get this fixed. Like, cool.
I met a guy like that in Tampa that specifically only did BMWs, like all ranges of BMWs. And he worked a deal out with the storage facility to where he bought out like half a row of them, and he put up 2 lifts inside of it. He just had a deal with the storage facility. Like, I'm going to rent these. I'm going to build my business within here.
Like in a used storage place?
Yeah, used storage place.
Wow.
He just made a deal with them. And then I learned this from somebody else who had a BMW, and she learned it from a very like high level executive that did exactly what you did. They just found someone, instead of going to the BMW dealership, they just found someone that specializes in this. And they're like,
yeah,
oh, if I already know I'm good at this, I'll charge less than the dealerships. And they just lose their warranty, but they keep coming to me. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, a Beamer too is like so notorious for just needing stuff constantly done to it.
One question I had for you was, so when we go to these music festivals a lot, right? We're taking party favors, having a good time, and most people are having a good time, right? But every now and then you catch someone that's like, they're going a little too hard, or they're having a pretty bad time, right? Like, I wonder if you ever see that at these like tournaments where you're like, that kid's been up for like 3 days trying to figure this out, or like, they might need to take a shower. That's a smelly ass person.
Ooh, yes, the stink.
I have several. So one time I was in Denver. I was playing a match against somebody, and he smelled so bad. He smelled so bad that I thought about I should have done this. I didn't because I just wanted to just beat him fair and square. But I swear this guy didn't shower on purpose. Because I can still remember this. He smelled so bad that I haven't forgotten this story. I wanted to go up to the TO and be like, bro, I can't play like this guy. Like this
that's how
too
bad
smelly.
it was.
But it was in it was like in a big like brewery, and there was like a few hundred people, and it's like, what are you gonna do? Kick out the one? Like everyone here probably smells like, I don't know. Like I felt like I was just being too much. But yes, that happens. Because what some of the people say, like the Smashers fighting game players smell, and it's true sometimes because they'll go to each other's house, they'll smoke weed, stay up all night playing the game, and then wait, and then the next morning just go to the tournament. They don't shower, they just play. They're fiends, absolute animals. Some of these guys. And then what else? I have seen people like lose and then go to a bar, because a lot of times tournaments will be like a bar, brewery, something where you can buy beer or alcohol at. And I've seen people just like so downtrodden, it looks like they're contemplating their entire life's existence. Like they are just not having a good time. They didn't sleep the night before, but I've seen people take losses very tough. I've seen a guy slam his controller one time and it like shattered everywhere. Like he took it by the cord and like threw it, and it shattered everywhere.
Dang.
I've heard I there's a lot. Anytime you get human beings to interact and put it all out on the line, it's very revealing. Some people don't take it very well, but that's like the 0.001%. Every other time, it's just like GG's, fist bump, keep it moving. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
There are some outliers here and there.
I like watching. I had for a good bit coming up on my feed Madden clips, professional players that play
Okay.
Madden, and even more so, I went kind of far down this rabbit hole watching the breakdown of these like world championship level players and like how they're making adjustments, and a lot of them would typically run very few plays. Like their playbook would probably be like 10, 15 plays, but the variations and customizations that they would do because they knew the coverages so well. So like they would watch game film on their opponents and understand the type of coverages they were running. So the hot routes and the adjustments that they would make there. I just thought it was super interesting because when like as a coach, if you're coaching an NFL team, you're kind of doing the same thing. Like you're sending your quarterback out with the initial call and then a couple it's an audible, but a couple canned plays. Their ability to do that in real time, so they're doing the execution of the sport, but they're also the coach. And once I saw that frame of reference, I'm like, that's kind of interesting. It's like they're doing basically what an NFL coach would do. Maybe not to the same extent of study, but
just
I don't
with
know.
a lot less pressure.
Yeah.
And maybe more time. I've seen I've seen content that does very well, not necessarily be a play, but the explanation of a play or the breakdown of how and why. I've seen a lot of times those will do much better, gain much more traction than the actual clip itself, because Madden is kind of digestible for the viewer. If you've watched football, you can see a hype play, you can see a hype interception, touchdown, breakaway, running back, TD or something like that. If someone who's never watched a first-person shooter game watches maybe a pro clip, it could be in tournament, in grand finals, with all the money on the line, and it could just mean nothing to the person because they don't understand what they're seeing. They don't understand why this is hype or clutch or important or significant. I've been but one of my goals for this year is to create more content that's more expository, that just assumes the viewer has absolutely no fucking idea what's going on, and just seeing how well that does in the general audience. Even some people that are vested in the culture, if I only play maybe like the newer games of a series, I may have no concept of what a hype play looks like in the older games of a series. I like to play a lot of retro stuff, like games that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. There's still strong scenes for some of those games. And I'll show some content or clips to someone that is younger and is more familiar with the newer games. Same title, same series, and they're like, I don't know what I don't know what I'm looking at. They have no idea because it's been, there's a 20-year gap for a lot of these games that have been around. And
this is checkers. You jump here. You jump over here.
Dude, the chess though. I was just thinking of that earlier. Like chess is making a giant comeback on like the gaming scene or streaming and stuff. Like I don't know how I found myself on chess talk, but like watching these guys, like they have whole commentators and world stages and stuff for that. And they're like, oh shit, like that is totally the equivalent of what you're talking about, BX. I'm like, I have no frame of reference why that was a good move. Like,
or League of Legends. League of Legends is making a huge burst.
I'm guilty of this. I'll watch a League of Legends clip. The commentators will be screaming. I'm like, I don't know what's that. I don't know what's happening.
Dude, there was so much happening in League of Legends. Like there is so much happening in one time.
Yeah. There's a lot of on-screen visual information. Have you guys seen chess boxing? Kind of back to the chess thing.
Chess boxing?
You should look it up now. You should actually just stop what you're doing. Big trust. Just look this up. Chess boxing. That's all you really need to know. It's just, it's like a new thing, somewhat new thing. Content creators are kind of doing where they go around and box each other, and then they play chess for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then they go back to boxing, and then they go back to chess. Literally, it's very fun. I think you guys would enjoy it tremendously.
Oh my god! Oh, this is cool. You're sharing your screen. All right.
Yeah, we can check this out live time. Let's see.
Chess boxing. It reminds me of car jujitsu.
Car jujitsu. Yes.
Oh my god! It is actually.
The shirts stay off.
Frank is clearly wary of his younger opponent, and finally goes into a clinch. But Nikolai continues to pressing skills to turn the tables on Nikolai and gets in a few
there's
so how do you win? The knockout or a chess win?
The big
back
challenge
to
is
it.
to keep cool
This is
and
the
avoid
boxing
easy mistakes on the board.
They take it serious. There's more recent versions of this. I've never seen this, but this looks dope. This must be where
Nikolai
the idea came from.
Yeah, this says 2008.
Bishop and queen. And what do you know?
Wow.
Yeah, this has been going on for a bit, huh?
After Nikolai's body shots, this is the killer body blow.
Look at him. He's locked in.
He's locked in, dude.
Absolutely locked in.
I think here comes the knockout, boys. There it is. There it is. My man's hype.
Chess boxing as a new world champion.
Everyone go look that up.
If you want to watch it with us, go to Spotify. We got the live feed right there, YouTube, whatever.
That's amazing. And that's going on since 2008. Holy cow.
Yeah, there was one like last month.
See, that's what I imagine, like that's game watching, right?
That's
like I wouldn't imagine
right
watching
there.
someone play Halo or something like that. That right there, that's good game.
Have you guys seen the guys do jujitsu in cars?
You just mentioned that
earlier.
Don just brought that up.
Oh, yeah. My bad. I was looking up the thing. Yeah,
I have seen that.
Yeah,
that looks wild. Absolutely effing wild. The car jiu-jitsu. I thought it was a joke. I really thought it was a joke, and then I just kept seeing more clips of different people. Like, oh,
strangled.
Which makes a lot of sense, by the way. I'm like, okay. Or they do one in like the British telephone red boxes, you know. So it kind of makes a lot of sense. I mean, not the telephone one, but like the car one. It's like, I want to see people in weird environments and how they would apply those skills. And this dude's trying to wrap a seatbelt around the other guy's neck and like break his jugular. I'm like, Jesus God.
It's Uber or Lyft driver training. You have to go through this.
It's a very relatable form of combat. All of us could envision having to fight someone in a car. We all take Ubers. We all take Lyfts.
The thought process every man has. Can I take on a bear? It's like, can I take on somebody in a car? Dude. If I'm stuck in this telephone booth, could I really take someone on in this?
They just start doing jujitsu in like the woods. You see rocks and sticks getting deployed. It's just like, The ultimate fighting
If someone put a
championship.
jungle gym around me right here, could I really knock someone out? Mad
Or like
Max
hide and go
style?
seek or tag, ultimate tag championships. You guys seen that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen Ultimate Tag Championships.
Those are cool. Yeah, they just put obstacles in an arena, and it's just guys running around, basically doing parkour.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
also playing tag at the same time, trying to get around it.
Yeah. That one's
Those can get intense.
that was pretty cool. Or like the slap thing that Dana's invested in. And
I've seen the slap boxing. I've definitely seen that. I've seen people do that in high school a lot. Used to slap box.
Everyone hates on it, but I'm like, people box each other, hitting each other constantly.
don't-
You're like, this is one hit.
I don't hate on it at all. I mean, I think it's like pretty entertaining to watch. I just don't
Jana's like, people want to do
I
it.
don't understand the longevity because those guys, they are fucking each other up. I mean, like 3 slaps in and one dude's face was like blue and black. It's like,
yeah.
how are you? You won, buddy, but you kind of back to the lobster thing, Dylan. You know, like it's like you guys are fucking each other up. Whoever's winning, like, where you're not fighting again tonight, dude. You know, like what does that look like?
Well, so I saw someone's argument too. Is like, we allow people to ride bulls, and they get fucked up on bulls every day. Someone was like, this is America. I can do whatever I want. I want to slap box.
Yeah,
Let me slap box
Professionally for a living. I want to be
a slap. But what do you do for a living? Slap the shit out of another man.
it's going to be interesting to see what sports, like, imagine a day where an esport becomes an Olympic sport, because now the Olympics, like, they're getting pretty far out there on inclusivity. Like skateboarding, I don't know if I still agree or not. Like, I totally think, yes, that's an extreme sport, but there's so much like objective nature to it. And so like more and more sports are becoming Olympic sports that have like objective values to them, like figure skating. You know, it's like that's given a scale, but like how do you measure that competitively versus say like boxing or wrestling? Like there's a defined point system. It's undeniable who's winning that, right? I think there could be a future argument for esports being an Olympic competitive sport.
Ooh, yeah.
So the Saudis are already on it. So they had something last year called Gamers 8. Now they're calling it World Cup Esports, something kind of generic like that, where they're having 25 to 30 different tournaments. They're putting like $60 million on it, just some silly amount of, oil money. So just like how they took the World Cup recently, they're also taking esports, I guess not Olympics, but at the biggest possible stage we've ever seen it. And Madden is actually going to be there too. So maybe someone will be making a lot of money this summer, possibly, or whenever.
That's what you like to see that dinosaur money go to. Stuff like that,
Yeah.
when they we're like, fuck golf. Like we want to see people cheer at golf. We want to see people get hammered.
Right? That was crazy that all the old school guys in golf were like hating on it. Everyone new in golf is like, hell
I get it. I'm
let's
like,
make this exciting.
I understand why you're mad. And at the same time, it's like, dude, there's a whole other demographic of people that want to see a different product. It's like, there's nothing inherently wrong about that.
When's frisbee golf going to be in the Olympics? That's what I want to know.
Disc golf? I'm surprised
golf.
if it isn't, because you can determine a winner in disc golf, whoever shoots the best. In skateboarding, I don't know how you determine a winner objectively other than just like who has the best vibes. Like I don't know how you would choose.
Long live X Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like weird because I agree that skateboarding should be an Olympic event, because it's like when you think about just the amount of skill and technique and the performative aspect of the sport, it's like I agree. And it's just difficult to wrap my head around how that can be like objective, for lack of a better term. Just like, okay, here's the defiance. Like, okay, they land a tray flip, is that worth 1 point in the run? Or they do a nollie, whatever the fuck. It's like, it's all contextual.
So I would use Tony Hawk Pro Skater moves, or whatever that system was. However, those points are scored in that game, applicable to real life. That's 1-to-1. That's how
a good way to do
Someone
that.
should definitely get more points if they showed up in like a hot dog costume with a sick board, that had like flames on it or something. It's like, you're already starting off better than everyone else.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure. I agree.
It will be cool to see like what other sports get adopted into the Olympics. I mean, for a little bit there too, because of attendance rates, they were thinking about getting rid of wrestling, and that's the only one I passionately, because I was a wrestler, that I passionately was like, you can't get rid of the first Olympic sport. It was like wrestling. The decathlon, where they're running around and they have like the water pit and the hurdles. And I think just flat out track. I think those were the original Olympic sports. Footnote: they used to wrestle naked with olive oil on them.
And it's like it's a foundation too to everything else that's happened. That's been in place. Like wrestling kind of led to UFC. Boxing also led to UFC. So you can't get rid of the thing that's kind of the foundation for all. Sprinting, right? Like we have sprint. Who can just run the fastest? Who can
flat out run the fastest or jump the highest?
Name is Usain
I feel like
Bolt.
all the foundational things have got to stay in
the Olympics. What's the one where they throw the rock?
Shot put.
Some steel ball.
I did shot put in high school. That's the only reason I knew exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They can't get rid of wrestling. I feel like I personally know so many people who just said what you said, Colton. Yeah, I wrestled in high school. Like if everyone's doing it, you can't take that away. You can't take that away from people. People care.
Yeah.
Or at least pretend to care when it's on TV every
few years. If you get rid of that shit, it's like I have a fucking hit list that we can go down, of fencing, the stupid little feather thing that goes over.
Shuttlecock.
It's just like
badminton.
Yeah, dude. Like, what are we talking
about? With Christy in Bulgaria too, I'm always like, where's Bulgaria in it? In the Olympics, and they have like they're usually in like a few of the top ones, but like the one thing that they're super good at is the archery while skiing down a hill.
That one's
just like they're like
badass.
Top thing, and you're like, that's badass.
That's pretty cool.
Shoop, shoop. And you're like, holy shit, what wars were they in?
Yo, those are like, arguably some of the fittest athletes out there. It's like the cross country skiing with the bow thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That. I mean,
and they're going down. Oh, and no, it's archery and sniping.
Yeah, they have
guns. That's what it was. Yeah.
Did they do both in that event? Or is it two different?
I think I was wrong on the archery, but I know it's at least the guns.
Okay.
I got that wrong. She probably just heard me in the other room, is upset about it, but that's okay.
Being a country in Europe, the answer is every war, Dylon. All of them. Every war. There's no war that this part of the country hasn't been involved in, I think.
They've all been part of it. Everyone. They're like, don't come in our mountains.
Yeah, depending how long your country was around, it didn't fucking matter if you wanted to be in that war or not.
They're
you were in
the oldest countries. They've hit every war.
Sadly, yeah.
For sure. Well, I said we're getting close to time to land this plane here, but we always want to ask our guests this question, just something that, it's kind of like our billboard question that Tim Ferriss always does. But, if there was a question that you wish more people asked you, BX, what would that be?
It's a good one. A question I wish more people would ask me.
Yeah.
How did you get here? How did you make it this far?
Ooh.
How did you even get here? A couple people asked me that at Paisley the other weekend, because literally they were like, they meant like there specifically, like, how did you get to this backyard? But I guess because
that's the
there was some
biker
not some
group
circumstances,
I
but
told you about.
We were at a biker party. It was a lot of fun. But I guess just
it's a very redneck,
because you'll see people in public. You see people in public, and you're just like, how? Like, how did you make it here? Like, as an adult person, how are you standing in front of me at this grocery store right now? Like, how did you even make it in the house? Like, what series of events and upbringing led you to be like this? So, that's my answer.
Beautiful answer.
That is one of the top ones. Oh, that is up there for sure. Well, we hope all of you enjoyed this special episode.
Philosophical to so fucking real so fast. No, how did you actually get here?
That's going to be a new festival question.
Seriously, you think about it. You guys meet some people. You'll meet some adults, people that are over 30 years old, right? And you're just like, how? Like, what?
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
No, that's the first question that I've heard someone answer that I think, I'm going to put that in my back pocket, because the moment someone's done giving me some eloquent, really soulful, introspective answer, I'm just going to head it off with like, no, like, how'd you get here? Like, literally, how'd you get here? Just watch.
Yeah, did you drive, or like, I don't.
Are you from there? Did you grow up there?
You have a
you
pass?
Don't look like
How the fuck did you get in?
Yeah, you did not need to make. I didn't mean that deep, dude. Like, we didn't.
Did you check in with someone?
Holy shit!
Did your mom drop you off? That's cool. I mean,
fucking hell, that was great.
Oh well, we hope all you enjoyed this episode of the Professional Hippies podcast. We'll have some more guests on next week. But BX, thank you for joining. Looking forward to having you on more, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for having me. I sincerely am grateful. Thank you so much.
All right.
Awesome.
See you guys next week.
Everyone.
Peace.
Peace.